Here's a thought, right? Think about this, Graham.
Right, yeah, I'm in. I'm all in.
Do you think a musician, say a session musician,
Right.
do you think a session musician or someone, any sort of musician or anyone in the music industry, let's just say, would be viewed differently by an employer if they'd went to university or anything like that? Say you are putting a band together and you need a shit hot bass player, guitar player,
Right.
and you advertised it and someone went on, two people, both as fantastic as each other,
Yeah.
say, and you hadn't heard them yet, but they just sent you their credentials. One had been gigging for 10 years, had no background in education, but the other one had done 10 years studying music and had his grade 8 in guitar and his grade 8 theory and blah blah blah.
They've both been playing for 10 years.
10, 20 years. Both
The same amount of time.
Yeah.
And I haven't met either of them yet.
Haven't met either of them yet. No, so you, it's, yeah. you
See,
haven't met
because
them.
that's going to be the defining factor for me. So I think I'm going to have to play this.
No,
unfairly.
I'm saying you haven't met them.
Aye.
You've literally just been, you've
Handed
just
it
seen
to
their credentials.
One's been gigging for 10 years with loads of bands, and one hasn't.
One has been gigging on and off, but been studying.
You see,
My spanner is in the works.
the problem is there's a couple of the person studying for like 10 years and gigging on and off. I'd be more intrigued than anything to hear at this stage what that brings to the table, because generally that answer is always straight down the line to the guy who's been gigging for 10 years straight.
Okay.
Because they've been in loads of bands, they understand the protocol. This is going to be quick. This is going to be an easy transition just based off the paper.
Yeah.
Because then it's going to be whether they're a melter or not.
Yeah.
But like straight down the line for me, it's going to be the person who's been gigging for 10 years.
Okay.
Because I know that they know what to expect coming in to a situation where they're going to have to be gigging.
Okay.
On the other hand,
Okay.
this other person has been gigging
They have
on and off,
Uh-huh.
but they've also been studying throughout this amount of time.
Yes.
For me, I don't really feel as if that's going to bring anything. Sorry, did you say this was like an original project, or was this a cover band? What was the crack? What way did you frame this?
Cover band.
Cover band. The person who's been gigging for 10 years.
Okay.
It's just quicker and easier for me.
You're telling me that experience over education?
For me particularly, if it was a cover band I was trying to put together, then it would be experience over education, just because I would want it to get off the ground as quickly as possible, which is the problem when you frame it that way. If it was like an original project, I'd probably end up leaning towards the person who's been studying for 10 years, particularly if they were studying music.
Okay.
Because they'll be able to think about music, and in particular the music I'm trying to create, in ways that I would never be able to dream up in my own head, because I haven't got that sort of formal education. You don't really need to be studying music. You don't really need to be able to play the third position of a Phrygian minor in the right place. You don't really need to know how to do that to play Galway Girl 3 times a week.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, good point.
Well, what do you reckon?
No, I am fairly down the road of, yes, it's great to have formal education. It's great to have all that behind you, but when it really does come down to it, you need to have experience in the job you're doing to go over someone else. You need to have experience behind you. You need to be able to do it. Yes, it's good to give someone a shot, and if they have no experience, but you need to build your experience up in places till sort of reach whatever heights you want to get to, you know.
I think to bring it back around to sort of what we said at the start, I think it is all known. It's all about knowing what your assets
Yes, working to your
are
strengths.
worth
Yeah.
to different people. So like to someone who's looking for a guitar player to play in a cover band, knowing that you've been studying for 10 years and have minimal gigging experience, you would maybe go towards session work for original artists more, because your skills might be valued more in that area.
Yeah.
Possibly. It's
And
just about knowing.
there's a guy that's been gigging for 10 years with cover bands, and a guy that's been studying music. If you were hiring for an orchestra and needed, I don't know why you'd need that many electric guitar players, but say he was a cello player or something like that, the cello player that has been studying the music for 10 years in university is probably going to be a better fit for
Yeah.
an orchestra than,
Straight down the line, probably a completely better choice.
yeah. Theatre musician and stuff like that as well. Someone that can sight read, blah blah blah.
Yeah, if I need you for a sight reading job and you've been studying for 10 years, I'm going to you.
Yeah.
More than likely. Because,
Okay, so round it all up.
yeah.
When it comes to education, stuff like that, it's really working the strengths of the person. You know, if you want to be a classical musician, you want to be playing in orchestras, education's probably the thing for you. If you want to just be out there gigging, doing live sound, whatever it is, and you just sort of want to start doing it, go out, get experience.
Yep.
Just go in. Maybe education's not the thing for you. Learn on the job, etc., etc. Some
Yeah.
people just don't work well in educational environments, so it is probably better for people like that just to go out and get experience. And to talk about the first half of this long vlog, don't undervalue yourself when it comes to working with venues. Know your worth, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise when you go in and tell them your price. If that's your price, that's your price. Stick with it. Stick to your guns.